Hollywood is lying to us. Ever wonder how Hollywood regularly manages to fill their movies with creatures you've never seen before? Remember the zombies in I Am Legend? Where did they come from? If there's one thing to keep in mind when watching movies, it's that you can't ever believe everything you see. Some of the most iconic blockbuster scenes of all time were actually filmed in empty warehouses, while your favorite actors pranced around in embarrassing green skin-tight onesies. Sorry to burst your bubble, but Mark Ruffalo doesn't turn into the Green Hulk without this onesie. Sit tight, we're going to be taking a look at Hollywood films before and after special effects. To begin, we'll take a look at 2017's Spider-Man: Homecoming. But first, let's take a second to explain the green onesies, or morph suits, that we keep referring to. In the modern film industry, CGI has become more and more common. In the industry, green screening is formerly known as chroma keying or color keying. Basically, it refers to the process of singling out a particular color in an electronic image and then using computer software to make the color transparent. In plain English, once the scene is filmed, the green onesie and the green screen in the backdrop can both be made transparent or see-through. In Spider-Man: Homecoming, Tom Holland's Peter Parker struggles to balance his life as an ordinary high school student with the responsibilities of being Spider-Man. Michael Keaton also stars as the villainous Vulture, an advanced weapons dealer bent on destruction. However, what made this superhero epic unique is the fact that Tom Holland actually filmed his scenes as Spider-Man in the genuine Spider-Man suit, which he felt added an element of authenticity to the film. However, that dedication didn't come without its setbacks. While filming scenes in the suit, Holland could not take it off, and so he'd have to pop a left eye out of the Spidey suit and slip a plastic straw into his mouth through the mask. Talk about sweat and tears. Speaking of tears, the CGI in I Am Legend is good enough to make you cry. Released in 2007, the post-apocalyptic classic stars Will Smith as U.S. Army virologist Robert Neville. The story set in New York City after a virus, which was originally created to cure cancer, has wiped out most of mankind, leaving Neville as the last human in New York. Well, aside from his undead companions. One of the most memorable scenes in the film involves Will Smith struggling with a rabid, virus-infected dog who's going for his jugular. However, the incredibly realistic dog was little more than a man in a green morph suit holding a vicious-looking puppet, while Smith did a convincing job of wrestling with it. What's more, over $40 million of the film's $150 million budget was spent on the CGI required to make the Manhattan wasteland that serves as the movie's setting. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to click that like button and leave us a comment. Your engagement is what keeps our special effects team going. Like Spider-Man: Homecoming, Avengers: Endgame is part of the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie series has absolutely dominated the box office since its first film, 2008's Iron Man, and has produced 22 films to date. CGI is incredibly crucial to the creation of the MCU, and Avengers: Endgame, yeah, it's no exception. There are so many famous scenes from the movie, including the final battle, that would not have been possible without the green screen technology to create the background world in which the battle is set. Also, many of the characters are created using CGI. Thanos, for example, would not have been possible without the facial recognition technology that allowed the special effects team to capture actor Josh Brolin's expressions as the towering 8-foot-tall purple villain. Likewise, Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of the Hulk was made possible by a motion capture suit, an equally complex facial recognition technology. Brolin and Ruffalo may have looked silly on set, but their convincing performances are definitely worth the expense. When it comes to convincing CGI, it's difficult to have a conversation without mentioning Jurassic Park. The series originally began in 1993 with Jurassic Park, but has continued to produce movies ever since. Fallen Kingdom is the 5th film in the series, with a 6th planned for a release in 2021. Whereas the old films used CGI as a last resort, favoring animatronics and puppetry like foam raptor suits with human actors inside of them, the new films have really stepped up their CGI tech game, utilizing motion capture technology for most of the dinosaur footage, and also applying this technology to the updated raptor suits. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom was able to greatly improve its special effects when compared to the earlier 90s Jurassic films. There may not be a single 1990s movie more iconic than The Matrix's 1999 slow-mo bullet dodging scene. Starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Carrie-Anne Moss, the movie depicts a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped inside a simulated reality called The Matrix, which was created by intelligent machines to distract humans while their bodies are used as an energy source. Talk about mind-bending. The famous bullet scene takes place on a rooftop as Keanu Reeves' character Neo pulls off off a superhuman maneuver to dodge bullets being fired at him by an enemy agent. The scene was filmed in a room entirely made of green screen and 360-degree cameras. Each of these cameras were set off split seconds apart so that when their footage was combined, it gave the impression of a slow-mo orbit of the character. The footage of the scene came out at about 12,000 frames per second, compared to the average in a film of 24 frames per second. If you can think of a more iconic sci-fi scene, yeah, let us know in the comments. We think this is number one. 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy features an ensemble cast with stars like Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, and Bradley Cooper. The film features many of the CGI tricks we mentioned in this video, including the green screen and motion capture technology, or mocap. The mocap technology was especially useful in creating Bradley Cooper's character Rocket Raccoon. Mocap requires that sensors be placed all over the actors so that all their movements can be mapped onto a computer in real time to create a virtual skeleton. To portray Rocket Raccoon, Bradley Cooper was placed in a green morph suit with motion capture sensors all over so that the 6-foot-tall actor could be convincingly portrayed as the diminutive raccoon bounty hunter. That's a serious case of shrinkage. Diminutive characters abound for our next film, 2012's The Hobbit. The film was based on Tolkien's 1937 novel of the same name and stars Martin Freeman and Ian McKellen. The Hobbit takes place in the fictional world of Middle-earth 60 years before the beginning of The Lord of the Rings and follows Hobbit Bilbo Baggins, who was convinced by the wizard Gandalf to accompany 13 dwarves on a quest to reclaim the Lonely Mountain from the dragon Smaug. The creation of the mind-blowing fantasy world the hobbits inhabit was largely reliant on green screen technology, as can be seen in this before and after picture. The production team even went as far as building 2 identical sets of different sizes. McKellen's character of Gandalf was filmed on the smaller set, while Martin Freeman's Hobbit was filmed on a larger set. Afterwards, the images were superimposed to create an impression that Gandalf was much larger than Bilbo. Based on the novel by Yann Martel and directed by Ang Lee, Life of Pi revolves around an Indian man named Pi Patel, who tells a novelist about his life story, and about how at age 16 he survived a shipwreck in the Pacific Ocean on a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger. The team used a green, or in this case blue screen room, and built a 1.7 million gallon wave pool to film the raft scenes in, and to create the impressions of both stormy and calm ocean conditions. To clarify, chroma key technology is not reliant on the color green specifically, but rather can make use of any distinct color. Red, purple, green, black, whatever. Even the tiger, who plays a prominent role in the film, was entirely created using a blue puppet, and lots of CGI. 2015's post-apocalyptic thriller Mad Max Fury Road, starring Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. The film is set in a desert wasteland where gas and water are scarce commodities. It follows characters Max Rockatansky and Imperator Furiosa's attempt to flee the cult leader Immortan Joe and his army, which leads to a lengthy and spectacular road battle featuring fleets of armored and heavily weaponized vehicles, and a guy playing a guitar. In fact, the majority of the film takes place in a desert, although this is just another one of Hollywood's slick tricks. Part of the movie was filmed in a studio, in a giant green screen room. Just take a look at this before and after picture and tell me you weren't fooled. Did someone say, fool? Okay, well maybe I was just thinking of The Mad Hatter in 2010's Alice in Wonderland. Directed by Tim Burton and starring Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, the film is loosely based on the Lewis Carroll books. The film tells the story of a 19-year-old Alice Kingsley, who is told that she can restore the White Queen to her throne with the help of the Mad Hatter. It's no secret that fantasy films have improved leaps and bounds with the helps of special effects, and Alice in Wonderland takes advantage of green screen, morph suits, and mocap technology brilliantly. Just take a look at these before and after images and you'll see just what kind of mind-bending works of chroma key technology has been made possible. Think of the Tea Party scene or Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Like with The Hobbit, this film made use of different sized sets to create differences in sizes between their kooky characters. But did you prefer the 1951 animated Disney version of Alice in Wonderland or the 2010 live version Tim Burton movie? Cast your votes in the comments below. No list about special effects would be complete without 2008's The Dark Knight. The second film in Nolan's epic trilogy, The Dark Knight, stars Christian Bale as Batman, Heath Ledger as the Joker, and Aaron Eckhart as Harvey Dent, and follows Batman's efforts to foil Joker's plans to turn Gotham City into pure chaos. Special effects created much of the action scenes, like when Batman slides down the side of a building. However, a combination of mocap technology and chroma key was also used to create the half-burnt face of Harvey Dent, or Two-Face. This remarkable effect was achieved by gluing carefully positioned markers to half of Aaron Eckhart's face, which were later filled in with the gruesome injuries that turned Dent into Two-Face. Well, that's all for our Hollywood films before and after special effects. Which one of these films did the most convincing job? Leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. We'd love to know what you think. Please Please like and share this video with all your friends. Also, remember to subscribe and click that little bell. Then you'll be notified whenever we post something brand new. Thanks for joining us today at The Richest. We'll see you next time.